Hi, this is Ron Janish. I'm with andrewscourse.com, and as you may know, I offer a course in utilizing the Andrews techniques in a manner that's a bit different from what most people know and what you'll be seeing on the web. So, without any further ado, I'm going to let you know what this video is about. What we're going to do is we're going to show you exactly how to draw the course lines, the various lines that we use in our course, and for the most part, and that most people understand to be the action reaction lines, the Andrews lines. I'm going to show you how to do it without having fancy software that does it automatically for you. Okay. And this is important because there's products out there like IB which really doesn't let you draw the lines unless you know what you're doing. And then I'm also going to show you an actual trade. I'm going to show you the logic behind it. I'll show you exactly what's going on in the trade, and I'll show you what I've been doing in connection with that particular trade for the last couple of days. So stay tuned and show you what's going on. Okay, we're going to start with how to draw the lines, and going to get involved in how to pick some of the pivot points. And basically, to pick pivots is you take low, high, low in this situation here, or you take high, low, high, and what you do is you draw a line from B to C, if in the old days when you used a ruler, and you find that midpoint right over here, okay, of that line. Now, just in case you didn't have a ruler and you wanted to do it on this chart here, what you do is you get the value of B, the value of C, add it up together, divide it in half, and you get the midpoint. And so you draw a line from A through the midpoint into the future. I'm going to do that. Okay, so there we have the median line. Now, since there's products out there like IB that don't allow you to draw median lines as easily as this particular product here, better known as Q charts, here's this one here. And so here we have the median line right in the middle here, and then here we have the parallels. Now notice that after prices broke through the upper parallel, they wound up using it for support. This is not unusual. Okay, and if you combine it with the course rules as we teach them, I think they'll be helpful in helping you to know when this is likely to occur and when it's not. So what happens is you now have a median line, upper parallel, and lower parallel. What else can you do? Well, what we know is that there's another line called a warning line, and what we know is that a warning line, it might be drawn down here, for example. If you take the distance from the median line to the parallel and pop it into the future, and then draw a parallel line, that's the location of it. So in order to draw that line, all I do is clone, and at my midpoint put the top of that clone line. Okay, and then once again clone, and there we have the warning lines. Okay, and as you go through the course material as I present it, you'll find that there are a significant number of warning lines, rules that are actually very useful and can help you in determining when to buy and when to sell. Okay, now another line set that is useful that Andrews talked about is the sliding parallel. And all that is a line that is parallel to the median line. Let's take this low point here, for example. And all you do is take a point that's a pivot point, and you draw a parallel line from it. Okay, and the exact rules regarding that, once again, also found in the course. Now, what's the next thing I want to draw? Next thing I want to draw is called the action reaction lines. Let's take a look at that. Roger Babson taught the action reaction lines, and they're kind of neat. And so First thing you do is you do something called draw a center line. And here's a movement that was a counter trend movement, and it's a peak, and let's say you used what's called the peak to low line. There are various types of action reaction lines, and there are specific rules as to which ones are used when. And the trick, of course, is knowing which one is used when, which center line is used when, according to Roger Babson's work, and then you draw the appropriate action reaction lines. And there are different types of action reaction lines. And even though this is a bit more complex than using the median line, there are reasons why this is useful. So for example, if your center line is here and you deem this to be a thrust forward, which it obviously is, it made new highs, one of the things that you'd like to know along the way is approximately where this thrust is going to end. Okay, and there you can use the regular course concepts for this, using the median lines and other lines, and you can also use the action reaction line specifically for that. So one of the things you might do is using this here as a center line. So let's say this here is a center line, right? And this here is your action point, and then all you do is measure the distance from here to here and project it out into the future and draw your reaction line. Okay, and so this is where the next pivot came in. This effectively wound up being a future resistance line. And with action reaction lines, you can determine where the reversal points will be. Now, Andrews said that the most effective method for determining a center line was something called the ORE technique. This is not something you'll find easily available. It is in his original works, which we'll be giving to a library at some point in time, and it's in the original. People who have copies of the original works, there's a limited number of them, and that's in what's called the expanded course. And the expanded course really consists of what the material that I showed in a video that's on the web, which shows the phenomenal amount of papers and documents and charts and everything else that Andrews left behind for us. And it was Irving Balk that was nice enough to send them to me. So anyway, this gives you an idea of how the action reaction line works. And then of course there are different ways of drawing action reaction lines. One of them is this simple method here, and then another way is to project this into the future equidistantly, and this is done real easily with nice little software like QCharts, and all you would do is project it into the future by making these lines here equidistant. Okay, that's all. These were useful to me. Using these equidistant points were useful to me in determining very significant lows, like the low at 9/11 and the low that came after that. But they're really best for finding the reaction lines are best for finding places where the end of a thrust wave would be it a temporary end, but they're excellent for that, and they're also excellent for finding the end of a correction wave. Okay, you just have to know what line to use when. We did it. How did we do that? What did we do? Let's take a quick peek. Take a quick peek, and when we did it, we used the ORE technique for that, and this was back in about a month or so ago. If I could only make it come up. So here we go. Okay, now we did it for the ORE. Let's see, here we go. And this was on the 8th of August. We posted this chart here. Well, it was posted a day later, August 9th. Okay, and we whenever this happened, we posted the chart right afterwards, and This was the ORE line, and the ORE is known for being a different center line. See, it doesn't make a lot of sense. There's this intricate mathematical calculation for it, and then you take a prior action point in the future. There it is. Okay, so that's your ORE line, and that is deemed to be, according to Andrews, the most reliable method for center lines. Personally, I have found that that is one of two that are incredible. So there's that. Now let's take a look at an actual trade and the logic behind it. Okay, this is an actual trade. I put it on this morning for demonstration purposes in this video, and I'm going to tell you what and why I did. And I only did one contract because I don't want to go nuts here in my demonstration and impress everybody with making just zillions and zillions of dollars. Most of the money that we make is going to be from hedge funds in the future. What we're doing is we're growing our business in the hedge fund advisory area. And so what we'll do is we'll take a select group of hedge funds that have all the things in place for dealing with clients, the proper things for money management, all that other really good stuff, all the good legal stuff, and other things. And what we'll do is we'll advise them on when to buy and when to sell. And that's really where we're looking for our business to grow. And even though right now we still offer a service where we teach people how to do this for the most part for themselves, what we know is people have a tendency to generalize, distort, and delete. And so I'm not surprised if I can give somebody an exact system and a month later they've made significant changes to it and forgotten all about it. So what I do to help remind people is on a daily basis, like yesterday, I sent out an email with these things here. Now they may not make a lot of sense to you, but what happens is when I get a number of indicators using the course methods that tell me that prices are likely to reverse here, I'll put some A's below it. For example, a double A that's large means that I saw this on a daily chart. A double A that's small means I saw it on an intraday chart. And so what happened was yesterday, this is what I saw. Okay, I did my analysis and using the course methods, and there it was. And so then what happened was prices went up nicely, and and that it does that during a day, and then overnight it goes back the other way sometimes. So being out of the trade at this point here, what happened was overnight, just before I went to bed, I noticed that prices were down here, did the analysis, and sure enough, it came through with a whole bunch of numbers and a AAA with a star. And AAA with a star is usually pretty good. So for telling, and it indicates to me that there's a very good probability the move is going to be very nice from here. And so the result was that I went to bed, and sure enough, prices in the morning went up nicely after the news report, right? And then, if you remember, in an article I wrote once upon a time, after prices zoom through the ML, they retrace back down and then go further in the original direction. So just before I put on this video, to put the stuff on to put on this video, I pressed a few buttons and put a trade on, and yes, I really do trade, and here we are. Just put on a simple contract for demonstration purposes, and there we are. And so I will wind up having targets and other things for this trade, probably be out by the end of the day. This is just a simple day trade kind of thing for me. Okay, and so that's a real kind of thing. That's the real concepts I used. At this point in time, I'm still offering the Andrews course at andrewscourse.com. For those of you that would like to have the massive expanded course, and the massive expanded course is really that that massive 3-volume work. It's actually 4, but it's a massive amount of information. It's copies of the original works of Andrews and the original notes and the original everything, including the time periods where he would send out emails, not emails, there weren't emails back then, where he would send out letters in the mail at the end of a week with instructions, specific instructions that people were to read to their broker. And he did this for years because he mentioned it in the 60s and in the 70s in his writings, and he showed how he did it. And he he would take $5,000 to start with in a futures account, and using prudent money management and things, he would then, and his trading techniques, and within a pretty short period of time, usually a few months, bring it up to over $50,000. The man was amazing. To me, it wasn't amazing that he brought the 5,000 to 50,000. What was amazing to me was that he was able to put the exact directions in the mail on Friday for people to read to their broker on Monday. That to me is amazing. Absolutely amazing. So anyway, you can read all that kind of stuff, go through it. We also offer something called the Sandbar course, and the Sandbar course is a very specific technique handling pivots specifically in a very unique way. And what it is for finding price reversals. It does not find all price reversals. What it does is it finds certain and specific price reversals. And these are price reversals that occur at very important times in the market. Let me give you an example of when there was a price reversal in, let's see, in SPY. That was a Sandbar. Okay. Two of the ones that are very memorable to me, there was one down here, and there was one down here. And if you join the Precision Trader group, you can see emails around this time period that would allude to that. I usually mention it as an SB3 signal. Okay, the unique part of SB3 signals, not only that they use a very hardcore set of rules and things, is that they're useful for determining turning points within usually 75 minutes of the peak or low, as the case may be. And so that's kind of neat. So the 75-minute technique, and so we do charge extra for that. Now, if you'd like to take the course, there's a fee for it. It's not free. If you are one of the people who are going to, it's not very big, and you're probably going to wonder why I accept such a small amount of money for it. Truth of the matter is that I'll only accept that small amount if you can give to me an original Andrews document that that increases my library, because what I'd like to do is to donate all these documents that I have to a library in the future. Okay, to a public library in the future. After all, I'm all done with the course teaching business. After all, I'm all done with the hedge fund business and all that kind of stuff. All right. So I thank you for your time, and please take the course. Come visit us at andrewscourse.com. Bye.